Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. This episode was very interesting in a lot of ways because, in some ways, it feels like a filler, but at the same time, there's things that's necessary. It feels like a cross between a filler and a breakdown or an informative breakdown. Because although nothing actually happens in this episode, they do talk about the stuff that led up with this whole FBI thing, how Bill, it was Bill's idea to actually get the FBI involved. It was Bill's idea to make sure that she wouldn't go to jail for just attempted murder and actually go to jail for some stuff that she actually did. You got Ridge. First of all, this whole back and forth banter between Bill and Rich, I gotta sit there and say, was the highlight of this episode. Because he comes in there, and there's a point where they're both looking at the monitor, and Rich is like, just hanging there, buddy. We're almost there. And I'm sitting there thinking, I was like, man, have these two come so far? He's literally sitting there patting this guy on the shoulder, and I was like, wasn't that long ago before he decided to toss you out of a helicopter. Good times, right? And now he's just like, how's it going, partner? It's like just the dynamic alone. I feel like they just get their own spin-off, their own buddy cop movie, and I would love it. I would love it. But Bill does talk about how he lured in Sheila, got her to trust him, played on her vulnerabilities, gave her things that she wanted, like freedom and love and stuff like that, played on her insecurities. Now, here's the thing. Because of Sheila, it's okay, right? Because Sheila has done some god awful things. Because as I was sitting there listening to it, it's like, oh yeah, I lured her in, I played on her insecurities, and I gave her all these promises and stuff like that. And I'm just like thinking, like, if this was anybody else he was sitting there talking about, all the stuff he was doing, I was like, man, this would just sound so bad. But um, Rich keeps there trying to push him like, oh come on, you just gotta do it a little bit longer. And I'm like, bro, you do realize that you're not the one that's there sleeping with the nine-toed demon, okay? You're not the one that's there practically have to have eyes in the back of your head. So, while Bill is like, yo, listen, you've been just sitting here for a couple of days eating donuts and french fries while I've been doing all the heavy lifting, I don't know how long I could sit there and take this anymore. I mean, he was really like, it's taking a toll on him. And I totally understand that. He's sitting there lying to his family. And at one point, he was like, I know I'm a good actor, but I can't believe they actually just believe me, And he's pushed away a lot of his family. And he's like, they're going to hate me and stuff like that. Rich is like, no, 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 you're going to be a hero. They're going to throw you a party and everything. So, in a lot of ways, this episode was actually good because it gave us a lot of background information, stuff that we needed to understand um, this whole drive and how everything got set up. So while that's going on, um, Sheila's there talking to Deacon. Oh, I think he's on to us. This, that, and that. And now to hit. Oh, also, because Bill had to sit there and let Sheila know to really sit there and give her something, to really play his part about the whole shooting thing. He had to sit there and make sure that he told the FBI so this way she can get immunity for shooting him. So, like, she's covered. Yeah, Sheila's sitting there talking to Deacon. It's all like, oh, I don't know how I could do this for. I feel like, he's caught on to us, and this, that, and the third. And when this whole thing, the dust settled and everything like that, I'm just sitting there wondering how, like, Like, is Deacon gonna sit there and get it, get caught in jail and stuff like that because he did harbor a fugitive? He did harbor somebody who was, against the law and stuff like that. So, is he gonna go to jail as well? Is he gonna be? Because here's another thing I was sitting there thinking about, and we talked about this during my live stream, which I do live stream every night, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, right? So here's the thing. Because of the era that we live in now, there's not really a lot of room for suspense, right? Anybody that has a smartphone can sit there and figure a couple of things out. Some people are sitting there talking about, oh, some of this stuff is very predictable, but I'm like, well, what are they going to do with Sheila? Because she is on contract, right? And that's the thing. Back in the day, back in the early 90s and stuff like that, when we didn't really have this and stuff like that, we were kind of on pins and needles. Now we know that she's on contract, so it's like, well, what are they going to do with her? You know, they're not obviously going to sit there and keep her in jail or anything like that. So what are they going to sit there and do? But at the same time, this did throw me for a loop. So I'm very interested to see how this plays out. So while that's going on, he hangs up the phone because Hope comes in, and Hope is asking questions like, "Oh, you look so stressed, this, that, and the third." And Deacon's like, "No, it's just work, it's just busy and stuff like that." Um, of course, he talks about Thomas, and I don't like the fact that you're working with him, and I don't think Thomas, I don't think Liam likes that, and Hope is like, "Well, I know he's upset, especially since I did, tell him one thing and did something else, but I am allowed to change my mind." And I'm like, you're 100% allowed to change your mind. On top of that, Liam don't sign nobody's checks. Okay? Liam, I will constantly sit there and say, Liam does not sign anyone's checks at Forrester's Creation. Okay? Liam, you want to sit there and help? Go get a designer for Hope. Go get a designer for Hope. You want to sit there and help? Go get a designer for Hope. Are you not going to do that? You're not going to pull out the sketch pad or anything like that? That's what I really got to sit there and say about that. But they do talk about Douglas coming back and living with them again. So, some happy news for Hope. I feel like that's about it. Now, it's as weird as it is for me to sit there and say, it was actually a good episode. It was actually a good episode, even though nothing happened in this episode. And it's trust me, it's weird for me to sit there and say, because you know me, I like stuff moving. I like stuff moving. I like things moving. Okay. But maybe it probably had a lot to do with Bill and Rich just playing off each other personality wise. The fact that they are working together to sit there and take Sheila down because they realize that, even if she does go in jail, she's not going to stay that long. So they want her behind bars for life. And the fact that they got to sit there and put their animosity aside to sit there and do that says a lot in itself. Plus, those two are just hilarious together. Also, again, it was very informative to sit there and find out, the underlining truth of how this whole thing got started, the beach scene, and everything like that. Um, so I would definitely sit there and say, watch it. If you didn't watch it, watch it. Um, kind of weird. I don't know. Kind of weird for me to sit there and say nothing happened, yet it was still somehow good. I gotta sit there and wrap my head around that one. But before I do go, yeah, I feel like that's pretty much about it. If I did miss anything, I will be sitting there talking about more of it tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I'll talk about all the soaps. I'll talk about B&B, YNR, Days, and GH. So come through. We have a lot of fun. And sometimes I will sit there and put up stuff about GH, but that's usually just the question part. Or sometimes I'll sit there and put up stuff about B&B. It pretty much kind of depends on which one's the most interesting part. Right now, it's kind of seeming like B&B, which is a concept I still got to sit there and wrap my head around. But yes, come through tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I want to thank you for watching. Keep safe, and I will see you in the next video. I kind of forgot my outro for some odd reason.